What is going on, everyone out there in our Catch Chat world? We're so happy to be back live with another episode. Sorry we missed last week. Kind of had an emergency with the family. Just to be honest with you, we were at church, and apparently we got a phone call. My brother, not Mark, but our oldest one, said, let's go. Dad's house is on fire. So we took off. It was entertaining, a lot of fun. Still don't know exactly how the fire started, but that was the emergency that came up. The firefighters, everyone went in and said, there's no electricity in this rental house. Don't know what started the fire, but when you live in Kentucky, you never know what the weather's going to do, and you never know what's going to go on. So thank you all for being patient with us on that and understanding why we didn't have the show.
Really, it's not totally your fault though, because I wasn't back yet either. I was on my way back from Michigan, so I got held up in Cincy. I got home about 9:30, I guess it was. So we could have done the show if I'd have got back in time, but got held up in Cincinnati a little bit. So, but yeah, it was one of Dad's rental houses. Just to preface that, it wasn't his actual house, but.
Yes. So I will say this. I finally got to kick in my first door ever in a house. It was a lot of fun. Not as strong going forward, but when you turn around and do like a donkey kick, it was great. And I almost hit our oldest brother with the door because apparently the other door was unlocked and I didn't know that. And went ahead and kicked this one in, about hit him. He said, I'm inside. So, yeah, Jared says it's all your fault. I'm so glad Jared is talking to you instead of me.
And
Jared, I read that perfectly. Guys, listen, we're so excited for this episode. We got some really great guests that I haven't got to know much about yet, but I'm excited to dive into this. We got to chat just a little bit, and I just love what they're doing. I don't want to go too far in it till we get them on here. So we're so thankful to bring them on here. Let's see here. We've got Jim Cross off of the bench producer, and also Jesus Worn Apparel, Matt Palmer. So tell us about yourself, Matt. You're a co-founder of the Jesus Worn Apparel. Jim, you're a part with him as part partnership and whatnot. And of course, you got your podcast. So we're going to step back and how you doing? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. We're based out of Phoenix, Arizona. Jesus Worn Apparel is a ministry that kind of landed in our laps that we've been just trying to steward well since 2023. So I'm involved with leading that and serve as a baseball chaplain for the San Francisco Giants. Do a variety of things out in Arizona with them. Get to travel out to San Francisco a handful of times a year. But man, just grateful to be here with you guys. I spent before I moved into the full-time role with Jesus Worn Apparel, I was with Fellowship of Christian Athletes for 8 years. The best part of my story is that I've been married to my wife, Tristan, for 24 years. We've got 3 kids, and they're all just about to be done with college, and what a blessing it is to have adult children.
Did you say the name is Kristen? Just making sure.
Tristan with the T.
Okay. My wife is Kristen, so I was like, wait a second, it's kind of cool. But all right, Jim.
It's kind of awesome because next month, me and my wife celebrate 25 years being married, so that's pretty cool.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, so obviously produce in off the bench. We started during COVID in 2020. We're just kind of bored. Started talking about The Last Dance, and I knew a lot of local athletes, so we started kind of having them on, kind of share their story. And through networking, these guys and girls playing with athletes throughout the country. Next thing you know, we're doing this school, this sport, that sport, and here we are 6 years later. More than 900 guests have shared their story in more than 17 sports, hundreds of national champions. It's been a fun ride to get their story and then be fans of them along the way. And then we partner with Jesus Worn Apparel because one of the things that we feel is important is for these athletes to not identify as an athlete first, but as a child of God. And when you look at it through that lens, when you on the field, whether you win or lose, that you're winning no matter what. And so just a great partnership that we've been able to have to work with these athletes and kind of reshape their thinking and understanding who they are.
It's awesome, man. Michael, once again, we cannot hear you. You're muted, brother.
How about now?
There you go.
Sorry, that's my fault. My daughter just came in. My kids are exercising. Cross country's coming up. And we just got a new dog that we took in. So my youngest took the dog out. It's afraid of doors, apparently. It was a stray that just showed up on the house, and we, my kids fed him, and so he decided to stay. So she was trying to get him in. I kept hearing him say, come on through the door. Come on. So I apologize. I had to mute there. So we talked about how we love to cover the Kentucky Wildcats in any form of fashion, but also if we get the chance to praise God in any form of fashion as well. So, Jim, with your podcast, are you able to really promote that across a broad area? And if you don't mind, can you tell us one of the most interesting things you've had to talk about with a Christian athlete?
Yeah, we've had a lot of opportunity. It's one of those things that I will always feel an athlete out first, make sure that they're comfortable talking about it. Don't want to put any pressure in a situation, but obviously hoping that they'll be bold and want to share about their faith. But we've had many different athletes. Obviously, you got things and circumstances of injuries and whatnot, but athletes who've literally prayed into their situation and decided to completely, do a 180. Specifically, I think of a baseball player who, instead of going Division I, genuinely prayed about it, decided to go to junior college, go that route, then had multiple different setbacks. Long story short, continued to pray, stay faithful, and now that athlete is Paul Gervais, who is with the LA Dodgers. So a guy who stayed faithful in his prayers, did not let different things deter him, did not let going to multiple different junior colleges, did not let injuries or anything like that. So I think about a guy like that who's persevered and kept God first the whole way. So
that's pretty cool. Once again, you're muted, Michael.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you keep muting yourself.
Okay, guys, I am so sorry. I am horrible today. Matt, can you tell us where the vision for Jesus One Apparel came to you?
Yeah, it actually was never a part of any plan that we had, right? So in 2023, God dropped this little idea on me and a buddy of mine who works for the Rangers to do these shirts that we'd been giving out in our local ministry that said Jesus One on them, to do them in the team colors so they'd blend in with the facility, but the message would be the most important that we could share. And the other thought in baseball, with all the movement up and down from major league, from AA, AAA, there's a lot of movement. The thought was, if I see you, Mark, in the gym and you're wearing a Jesus One shirt and I'm a believer, it just gave me an identifier to be able to connect with guys where you don't know anybody. So we gave out 50 shirts to each group. Guys loved them, but it really wasn't, there was never a plan for anything more. One of our donors for FCA had given us a website, and he's a screen printer and embroidery guy and massive facility in downtown Phoenix. And so he gave us a website, and we put 5 or 6 different items up on that thing. And he was donating the proceeds back to us. Well, fast forward to September 8th of 2023, a kid named Evan Carter from Elizabethton, Tennessee, gets called up to the Rangers. They post every picture of him on his call-up day, and he wore the shirt that he just wore every day, the shirt we had given him during spring training. And a little bit of the commentary was about Evan on that post, and a ton of the commentary was, where do we get that shirt? That shirt's fire, that kind of commentary. So we actually commented on every post, directed people to our website, and that weekend, like, we had a crazy number of sales through that. We kind of started to fumble around and just set up things in case it became a thing from a business standpoint. And then about 3 weeks later, Evan's agency reached out, and it was actually his wife, Kaylin, that has the idea that birthed what we're all about today. She's like, hey, can we do a shirt for Evan that it's a specific design, and the proceeds will split between our high school baseball program, our church in Johnson City, Tennessee, and your ministry in Phoenix. So, like, we were literally on a call on a Tuesday. We launched it Friday. The weekend that they posted, in 48 hours, we had 768 orders. And then fast forward, they win the World Series. It happens to be in Phoenix. We get to meet them. And during that period, we sold more than 7,000 shirts and raised $35,000 for each organization. So like $105,000 in 60 days. We're kind of sitting there like, I think we need to put some attention to this and pay attention. God's doing something here. So we kind of fumbled along and built relationships with some different athletes and players, and then got connected with the guys from Ohio State football in 2024. In the summer of 2024, we connected with Travion Henderson and G. Scott, and that whole thing took a crazy runway. And the last 2.5 years has just been wild, man. We're working with a lot of different athletes in baseball. We've got connections in every clubhouse across the league. Obviously, it's more than just baseball, but baseball is what launched us. So Our whole mission is really simple: to start conversations about Jesus that point to the gospel through a T-shirt, hoodie, and a hat. And somehow God's given us this ministry that in a little more than 2.5 years, we've helped raise more than $550,000 for different ministries, churches, teams, organizations all over the country.
It's just an awesome story, the way that all worked out.
It's it makes no sense, but like as God keeps putting the details together, you look back, you're like, man, this all makes a lot of sense.
Well, it makes sense to God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd already laid that out.
Yeah. To me, it's just all you can think is it's an awe moment. It's almost like the WWJD bracelets of sports, and it's great to see this. And I agree. I see most of this. It seems to be in baseball, the MLB players and whatnot. And of course, OSU had that whole run where, everyone was getting baptized, the whole Stand for Christianity. And it's just a big movement. And I think that's actually where I've seen it first. But here in Johnson City, that's really close to us, believe it or not. It's a 2-hour drive for us. My daughter, who was in the NICU for 87 days, she was in Johnson City's hospital. So we're familiar with that area quite a bit. But it's crazy how we always say everyone knows someone from Harlan County, Kentucky, but at the same time, you can always have a great conversation with other Christians as long as you know first. It's like the fish that they used to draw, the ichthus fish, and your all shirts are being that example to where people say, hey, I can trust this person. I can have a conversation. I can share what's going on. And what's even great about the shirt, in my opinion, is not only do Christians know who other Christians are by this communication, but a lot of times we don't know who to go and share or talk to if we have problems. But seeing a Jesus One shirt, you kind of think, okay, this person may pray for me if I've got anything. So it starts a testimony or a witness opportunity like that as well.
If I could add to that.
Thank you, Jared. Jared makes fun of me if you guys see this coming in.
If I could add to
Go
that,
ahead.
I think one of the neat things that has just grown over time is it really gives the athletes specifically a chance to share what they believe in without saying a word. And it gives, everyday people like myself, men and women, the chance to do the same thing. Like if you see me wearing the shirt, you have an idea what I'm about. And the thing I've also realized, like I've been in ministry for a decade, but I'm not naturally the most evangelical person that I'm just going to run around and tell random strangers about Jesus. But I'll tell you, for the last 2.5 years, wearing these shirts at the gym, at the airport, in the grocery store, like those conversations present themselves over and over and over again. So it takes me, the not naturally like overtly evangelical guy, it gives me the opportunity to be that guy just because I'm inviting the conversation with what I'm wearing.
Matt, I hadn't even shared with you yet, but this is a perfect time to share with everyone. But at our church last Sunday, a man got baptized, and the guy who was his buddy who, started bringing him to church, he actually told me, he said, do you know what started our conversation when he saw me at a Waffle House? And I was like, what's that? He said, it was the Jesus One hoodie. So it's just crazy, all the stories that you get from just that, somebody wearing that. And like you said, it opens that opportunity to speak with someone.
Well, what's crazy is, one of the smallest sentences I can think of that I've always enjoyed as a Christian is, I want to say, I just totally had his name. It's a singer. It's Walk by Faith. Just that song, how full that little 3 words are on that, Jesus walking by faith. But then you pretty much can tell the whole story with Jesus One. Like you've heard many times at Easter, this is the whole purpose of Christianity, is that he died. And if he didn't raise again, it's all worthless. But because he did win, now we have everything else. So, I mean, it's such a short message that tells everything, and just Jesus One. And I'm thankful that you guys are doing this. I'm thankful it fell into your lap. It seems like no matter what happens, if God's in it, you never can put a barrier on how far it's going to go. We've got a little small church here where we have maybe 80 people on a good Sunday. We've had a Christian school for 27 years. During COVID, it had to close just because of, the whole 9 yards of quarantine and everything. But we have the second beautiful, best gym in Harlan County, next to the Harlan County High School, where, Mark, we know you're a teacher and that's where you teach. But, it's just things that we didn't think. We had, Mark, you remember, we had a men's church league where we were playing on concrete floor while the gym was being built, and literally had the gym be put down with wooden floor with no money. And somehow the day the bill came in the mail, there was a donation for $5,000 extra of what the bill was that paid for everything. It's just, we did it by faith. And, I'm thankful. I say that all this, just say, man, I'm thankful for your stance on this and being bold and taking a chance with this. Now, is there anything else coming, or I won't say a slogan, but phrase that we may have thinking about?
That's a good question. We get asked that a lot, like what's next? And I think what's next is just continuing to share the same message over and over, because there's truly freedom when you understand, like, the victory is secure. Every day we get to wake up, and we're, as a believer in Christ, I'm coming from a place of victory today. John 16:33 is the verse that drove the message on the front. And basically it's Jesus calling his shot, if we want to put it in those terms. Because John 16:33 says, he's talking to the disciples. It's the end of the Last Supper. They're getting ready to walk. And he says, I've told you all this so you may have peace in me. In this life, you will have trouble. Some translations say tribulation. But he said, you take heart. I've overcome the world. Like, I've defeated all of it. I've overcome it all. Jesus won. So for us, and what this ministry is really all about, like, maybe there's something down the road that I haven't thought about, Michael, but for now we're going to keep sharing the same message, which I believe is the most important we could share, because in it, there's peace and freedom and joy and hope that I don't think anything else can offer.
And you're seeing it because these athletes are when they're on the losing side of things, not just on the winning side, giving glory. You've seen it in all these different championships. You see athletes giving glory, and it's that peace that Matt's talking about, right? Like, they're not rested on if they win a championship. They know that they've already won with Jesus, and it just changes the whole dynamic and gives that peace that it's referring to in the verse.
I love the fact that you have almost every baseball team covered as well. Like, when you're looking at the Jesus One shirts, I saw one that looks just like a City Connect jersey for the Reds, because I'm a diehard Reds fan. Yeah, I've already got it in my cart. So
it's I'm friends with Chase Burns, so I had to wear it today. It's Chase Burns.
Hey,
he's awesome. He's having an excellent season. I actually got to go to Bristol to watch him pitch there, and then it got rained out. I was so upset. Like,
did you see guys like he's wearing his all the time in the media? You see guys like Mike Trout, Connor Griffin, these guys. And it's what y'all talked about. They want to be bold. They want to show it. And you guys are aware of the different things and the different things in our culture that are being driven. And so for them to take the opportunity to use their platform to share Jesus is just huge. And I think you're going to start to see it in more sports. Like Matt said, it started with baseball, and I think it's one of those things that's going to continue to grow into the other sports.
Yeah, one of the unique things to call out, Mark, on that, the Cincinnati design. So we partnered with the guys, with Chase, with Sal Stewart, and a handful of other guys. Will Benson was the guy that brought it to the clubhouse. But the proceeds from that support. So the team chaplain is also the pastor at Revive City Church in Cincinnati. And so all the proceeds from the designs for Cincinnati go directly to support the church where their chaplain is leading. So everything has a purpose. Everything's got a purpose for us. The non-partnership designs basically gives us a ministry fund to be able to help when people reach out, and that ability is growing, and we've had more people start reaching out that are in need of help or are looking to, the bottom line is we're just trying to get behind those men and women and organizations that are making an impact for the kingdom. And if we can be a small little piece in the background that can help fuel the fire that's already going, man, that's winning for us.
You know what? Okay, I'm not really big into the whole social media. I've got 3 kids, 2 9-year-olds and 8-year-old, and I try to keep them away from it as much as possible. But with that, I'm going to say this. I'm 40 years old. I'm over the hill, which is killing me because I just turned that in April. But anyways, I remember seeing like the Cam Newtons, the different other Christian athletes that you see on ESPN, we'll say it, and they have to turn their shirts inside out, or they have to do something else to block out something of faith. But, with social media, you guys are able to see the message more because of these athletes that are not in front of a network or anything that can showcase this Jesus One shirt. And it's awesome on that. And I think it's a huge movement. That's why when I seen Jim, you made a post and somehow we came across each other on Facebook and say, we'll message you. I was like, man, I want to get behind this movement somehow and share it as much as I can, because athletes are on this pedestal. Let's just call it what it is. There's the celebrities of sports, and for someone to have that big, bold statement to just wear a Jesus one goes for millions of viewers that can see this. And it's so awesome to watch this movement happen through across the whole nation on it. So with that being said, and this may be not much for you guys, but can you back up as far as you can to think, man, this is an all moment of meeting a celebrity who has the same, outcome in life or mission in life. And it's just cool to meet this person. Is there anybody you can think of that's like, wow, I met this guy with this apparel?
Jim?
Specifically, it really, man, I hate to use but I had no clue about Mike Trout. Mike Trout's been my favorite baseball player for as long as he's been in the league. And when he came out wearing it, I had no clue that Matt had sent a box out there, and to just see him wearing it proudly, that one just it really hit for me. And I think it was so huge because you're talking about a guy who's arguably the face of baseball, being the guy who did it. So, and then to see him take it a step further, he's done some interviews and just really been open and shared about it. And so that one's probably huge for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I have like the one or two. I'm grateful. We get to work a lot with a lot of different people. One of my mentors says it like this, that we're in the people business and God's in the glory business. Let's stay in our lane. So I guess if I were to go back to answer your question, the first baseball chapel I showed up to do in the spring of 2018, I'm standing in the lobby waiting for my contact, and Lee Smith was one of the pitching coach for the ACL Giants that summer. And he's the first guy that walks in the clubhouse. Well, backstory on that, my grandma is my baseball influence. She's no longer here. She's in heaven. But she loved the Cubs, and Lee Smith was her favorite player. So I'm sitting there. Lee Smith walks in with his McDonald's under his arm, and he shakes my hand. He's like, hey, how you doing? And he keeps moving. And I have this moment where I'm like, that's Lee Smith. And God's like, you're here to serve Lee Smith. Knock it off. And at that moment, I was like, okay, like I understand the assignment. It's different now. And so I think I'm thankful for that moment, like in 2018, because it's really helped shape the way that I look at serving these guys.
And that's tough because it looks like Mark's froze on here, guys. I apologize. It's pouring the rain here, so that's probably
I'm not froze on my end.
Okay, well, I hear you, but you are frozen here, so maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm froze. I don't know. But my favorite Kentucky player ever is Tony Delk, and that's why I wore the 00 growing up in high school and everything. And we actually got to interview him on here, and I had to tell Mark, I said, listen, I'm going to geek out on this because he's going to be on here with me. And I was sweating back here, like yes sir, all this stuff. And then it just hit me one time while talking with him. I was like, it's just another guy. We put him on these pedestals, but like we've had a bunch of different people that I never would have thought we had. Cameron Mills, even, which I don't know if you guys are very familiar with Kentucky sports, but very much. But Cameron Mills back in 98 hit one of we call it the shot I heard around the bluegrass. He was famous for that shot, but he came on the show and we've got to talking. Of course, he's a big Christian guy who stands out, wants to preach and everything. He came to our church and actually preached for us, did a men's retreat and all this stuff. And then I kind of started waking up like, they're human beings. And like you said, it's not really been in my moment or anything where I seen someone I thought, man, I'm here to serve them. But I've just thought, what a way that we can get a relationship with people and get to know them and then possibly, have a witness opportunity with that. I don't know how long you all got. I forgot to ask you all that before.
Before we get far off from what you just said, I actually, as a kid, I rooted for Kentucky basketball because I went to the SEC tournament. I want to say I was 8, but it was the Tony Delk team, Travis Ford, Jamal Mashburn, Roger Rhodes. And so when you said that, it hit home with me.
Awesome.
See, Jamal Mashburn was my all-time favorite player. We still not got to interview him yet, but
we're trying. Right now, I'm going to pull this out. Of course, right now, it's Reed Shepherd. Of course, he's from the mountains here in Kentucky, London, Kentucky.
You never know what opportunity can come from podcasts. And I'll tell you guys this. I got a call in what was that now? I'm trying to remember what year the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. But I got a call 3 years ago, and
21 maybe.
Got asked how fast I could be in front of no, even 4 years ago. How fast I could be in front of a computer. And I was like, 5 minutes. Why? You're interviewing Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow for Super Bowl Media Day. I'm doing what? Anyway, they're like, you heard me. We need somebody. We know that you're comfortable talking to athletes. We know you're a diehard LSU fan. We need you to do this. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there doing it. And the reason they were doing it teleconference still is they were still following COVID protocol at the time. But yeah, sitting there getting to talk with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and something that I could have never imagined. And that was just from doing my podcast and connecting with the right people. And then the opportunity hit. So I'll tell you fellas, this never count it out, because you never get to know.
Well, and it's one of those things I told him when we started this. I said, I don't want to just do this as far as, just getting on athletes. I said, I want to get to know these people, like on a personal level, because we see them play sports, but a lot of people don't know the story behind them. And that's what I think is the coolest.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
like
what
since doing this
to do, because we get to meet all these athletes, and you can't help but pull for them all. And obviously sometimes they're going against each other, but you want to see, them be successful. You get to know who they are and the family. The Bailey story, Matt, would be a cool one for you to share. Just, hitting the home run. If you want a good story of just a good guy and using his platform. And Matt, if you want to share that one.
Yeah. So Patrick Bailey was with the Giants, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. Got traded this year. He's now in Cleveland. Gotten to know him really well since he was drafted in 2019, whatever it was. But he hit a homer earlier this year against the Dodgers, and the lady doing the interview post game was like, "Hey, you seem to have a knack for these clutch moments. What is it?" And he looks at her, and he literally just quotes scripture that we had been texting back and forth maybe a week or two before. He's like, "God didn't give me a spirit of fear and timidity. He gave me a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline." He literally quotes 2 Timothy 1:7. You're like, that's what ministry, like there's fruit of ministry when a guy has a platform and he does this. It's not about him. It's about deflecting and pointing to the one that gave him the opportunity.
Awesome. That's great. Guys, I'm going to say this. If y'all ever make a Kentucky Wildcats color theme Jesus one, let us know, because we do have some connections from the Harlan County. I don't know if you've heard of him, but it's Trent Noah, who goes or plays for Kentucky basketball. He's from Harlan County. Mark taught him in school and stuff. He's a great Christian guy. If you ever get a chance to talk with him, he would be a great representative for you guys. I don't know if that's something y'all might be interested in. Just let us know on that. Of course, obviously this one out not. But yeah, man, I think it's great. What's been the hardest situation? Oh, I don't want to say situation. What's been the hardest field for y'all to kind of get in? Sport or whatnot.
I don't know if there's anything's been the hardest. Like, we're still in a place where we're just trying to keep up with what's coming in from a request standpoint. We're finally in a place where we're managing that. So we really just haven't had the time to go out. We've done some work in softball. We've done some work with some softball teams, a little bit of volleyball. I think we haven't had the capacity yet to be more proactive in reaching out. So I'd say, like, I don't know, there's an arena or two. Here it's just different. Like, baseball allows guys to go on field pregame in non-branded stuff. Yep. The NFL, no shot. NCAA, no shot. Like, you're not stepping foot in an arena or on a field without wearing what you're supposed to wear. So it's also adjusting to those places and getting guys and gals set up with what they can wear on the way in, what they can wear for a press conference, what they can wear out. So those are probably more of the challenges. But man, I feel like we have been very fortunate with what has been put in front of us, but there's so much more to go. So, any suggestions of people that we could reach out to connect with, we're open for any sport. It's all just about the same message. Let's keep talking about Jesus.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right, guys, we're at 30 minutes. I don't know how long y'all got. I want to be respectful of your time, because us in the mountains here, we'll talk over anything and for as long as you listen.
Whatever you need. I got time.
Jim, you do a podcast.
You should not have told him this.
I got 5 more minutes.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, with that, we had Cash Daniel, who is a wonderful football player for Kentucky back in 2018, I think it was. Did the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin thing with the water bottles after we beat Florida for the first time in like 31 years. But he came on the show and literally it was probably our third or fourth episode we'd ever done. So he went outside, was on his front porch talking with us, put in a dip. Then he went inside, cooked his food while we still sat there and talked with him for about, I'd say, 2.5 hours, Mark?
It was a long time. Might need
to put limits on us. And Cameron Mills, he doesn't hush. He's worse than I am. Even his wife on social media will blast him on that. She does like a talk show, and she's like, he sometimes he gets carried away talking with his eyes closed and still trying to use his hands a lot. And her co-host like, yeah, that's when I leave the room when he closes his eyes because he doesn't hush. So I was like, wow, that's out there now. So that's great.
What I feel that sharing that story is the first year and a half of our podcast. I don't have the video because I never released it, and then I making room on my computer, I deleted it off. And the reason I wasn't doing it was I didn't want to put these athletes on blast. I mean, I've had them in dirty dorm rooms. I've had them in a car, had them in stairwells. Like, you can name the scenario. I had it, and I didn't want to do it. And then I got told somewhere along the way that showing them in their natural environment just makes them look more like normal people. And that was actually an opportunity that was being missed. And so I would end up changing that. Like, I think of the first big episode I had done with somebody, and it was Austin Riley and from the Braves. And I didn't want to put that out there because he was sitting in his parents' garage, and there was like bed rails leaned against the back and everything. I was like, I can't release this video. And it actually would just show that, Austin Riley's a normal guy. He was at his parents' house for the weekend. And so, it was a missed opportunity. A lot of video, a lot of guys just being normal.
That's awesome. So Matt, let's see here. You say you are a chaplain or been a chaplain with the Giants, right?
Yes.
For how many years or what was the time there?
9 seasons now.
He said 9 seasons.
Oh, now still okay. Okay, I was going to say if you were there back in 2015, I'm kind of upset with you guys because the Reds were actually playing well. We had Cueto on the mound and 3 pitches that he gets hurt, and we were up 2-0, I think it was, and we get swept. So that's still sour for a lot of us Reds fans for the Giants. But this is where we can say God brings us all closer together. It's not the sport. So I forgive you guys.
That's good.
Mark, you got anything that you want to ask?
No, I just think it's an awesome line of apparel. Love it.
Yes, definitely going to be buying some stuff. All right, so what we like to do, and I do apologize because I am ADHD. I like to do fourth quarter questions.
Just prepare yourself, guys. Just prepare yourself.
Okay, so I got to find it in my list here. Fourth quarter questions. And again, I told you all earlier, I'm obese. I love food, so some of it's going to be about food. So first question, are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Yeah, Jim, you can lead off here. I'll go after you.
Okay, sounds good. So, favorite superhero?
Gotta be Thor.
Thor. Okay.
Incredible Hulk.
Okay. All right. Not ones we hear too much. I've never heard Thor. You're the first, Jim, so you're original. Don't know why you'd say Thor, but all right. Favorite food?
Oh man, I'm a sucker for pizza.
Okay, what's the toppings?
All the meats. Give me all of it.
Okay, gotcha. Matt?
I'll go orange chicken and rice.
Okay, awesome. All right, so here's where it gets weird, and I apologize, but I gotta know if you're crazy or not. You're putting a fresh roll of toilet paper on the hinge. Does it unravel over or does it go under?
Over.
Under.
Okay, you're not. Oh, Matt, you're crazy, man. You're seriously under?
Yep.
Jim.
Hey,
he's a West Coast guy, man.
Hey, in my house, I'm just happy that it's on the roll and it's not just sitting on top when I get there.
That's what I've told him all along.
Okay, that works.
As long as I got toilet paper, I'm good.
Growing up, if you played any sports, did you have any superstitions?
Man, not as the superstitions came more as a fan. I'm one of those people that if I go to the bathroom during a game and something happens, good, I might just have to stay in there, kind of thing. Like,
okay, I've been there.
Yeah, so my sophomore year at junior college, the night before, a couple of us shaved our heads, and that's the last time that I've had hair in 30 years. Because the next day I went on. And I went like 5 for 7. I hit 2 bombs, and I'm like, I guess I got to shave my head every day.
Okay, all right.
Stuff I don't even
that's
know. I'm
great,
learning.
honestly. See, we like to get to know you guys. Let's see here. What was your dream as a kid?
Like to do?
Yes, dream job or whatever.
Man, honestly, it was be a professional athlete. I was one of those naive kids that because I was really good at recreational sports, I thought I actually was going to do it. When I was my best sport was basketball, and when I got to AAU, I learned out real quick that I wasn't as good as I thought. So, it was being an athlete. But I did come up. I am old enough. You might be able to understand this. I am old enough to remember when being an astronaut seemed like a really cool thing.
Okay. All right, Matt, what about you?
It was to be a Major League Baseball player, no doubt. And then I played through college. That door got shut pretty clearly, and it's crazy how God brings everything full circle, given the work that we get to be a part of and the rooms I get to be in, being a chaplain.
That's awesome, actually.
And if you actually Google his name, he is a professional baseball player because there is a Matt Palmer who played professional baseball.
So there's two of us.
Nice.
And I am not the guy that pitched for the Angels yet. There are two.
Gotcha. Let's see here. One of our sponsors at Scrolls Across the Bottom is a wonderful wings place here. It's Golden Flame Wings in Lexington, right next to the Fayette Mall. We always try to say that part so that it can find it because it's off of Roje Drive, and that's hard for people to find. But anyways,
from the movie theater.
If you're going
Easiest way to explain it.
Yes. If you're in Lexington and you go to Golden Flames Hot Wings and you order yourself some wings, are you ordering them bone in or boneless?
Bone in. As a matter of fact, if anybody in here says boneless, I'm leaving the show.
I told you. Even Tony Delk laughed at him because he likes boneless.
Listen, it broke my heart too because he said, if you like boneless, you're pretty much childish. And I said, my hero just called me a child, and it broke my heart.
Chicken tenders.
But Matt,
it's what they are.
Well, it's okay. They're good.
We can cut them up for you too into some little squares if you want.
So you're a bone in as well?
Yeah, and let's try to make them as hot as we humanly can.
Like if I'm gonna eat wings, okay, I gotta have bone in. Like if I was traveling and not, eating them in my car, yeah, boneless might work. But if I'm gonna eat wings, I want a wing. I don't want a chicken nugget.
Matt's talking a big game there. I haven't taken him to Louisiana with me yet, so we'll see if he really wants them as hot as he thinks he does.
Yeah, probably not that kind of heat, but we could get Michael some. We could send you a couple orders of Dino Nuggets or something like that.
Hey, listen, like I told you all earlier, I got an 8-year-old and 2 9-year-olds. I eat those Dino Nuggets like crazy, so it's fine. I put a little sauce on there, barbecue buffalo
fish sticks the next night.
Now we don't do fish sticks. That stinks too much. We get the real stuff with that now. You know what? I'm gonna have to take this question off because everybody comes at me on this one.
I warned you.
Let me give you my best question. If you really want to put somebody to the gauntlet, and I think back, Matt, my favorite clip of this on the this or that, this question was actually Tony Vitello. But we like asking, and it's the last question we'll ask is, would you rather do 5 years in prison or 10 years in a coma? And that'll really make them think.
Prison all day.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go prison.
Tony had just happened to read an article about what it would be like to be in a coma for 10 years. So a little insight I never expected, Matt.
All right. I mean, that sleep would be nice, but not 10 years. My goodness.
Well, let's see here. How many of these athletes, though, they feel comfortable, like they're going to survive in jail. And, a lot of these, young college guys aren't, the biggest, strongest guys, even though they do play sports. And, a lot of these baseball players, and it's like, I don't know. You don't know if you want that life. But then you start talking about 10 years in a coma and the fact that they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they'll be 30 when they wake up. They don't want that either. So, yeah, it's always a tough question to see what they'll say.
Absolutely. Man, I'd be 50. Goodness. I may not wake up if I make it to 50 in a coma, man. Okay, back to my questions here. Miracle Whip or mayonnaise? And is that the Kraft brand? Mayonnaise, Matt?
Mayonnaise, blue plate.
Neither.
Okay.
I'm going to pass.
Neither?
Yeah, I'm good on that stuff.
You know what? I might have missed here. I must have taken that off. Okay, back to my wings again. Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Okay, good. You guys are. We can keep you on here. Okay. Xbox or PlayStation?
PS5.
Matt, what do I say here? Because I prefer PlayStation, but I'm sitting here. I play MLB The Show on Xbox every day. I got to stay loyal to what's in my house. I'm going to go Xbox.
Okay. We were always a PlayStation family, but as soon as Halo came out, I was Xbox from there on. All right, let's see here. I about to say waffle fries. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
What do we got for toppings?
Oh, I'm just syrup and butter for me.
Same.
Okay. Really? Out west, you don't know like strawberry, whipped cream, anything crazy like that?
No.
All right. You're making a sandwich, and we'll mark since we know they got kids for a child, whatnot, and they ask you to cut the sandwich in half. Do you just cut it straight across, or do you try to make it into the diagonal triangles?
I'm cutting it straight across.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go corner to corner on it.
See, why?
Seems proper.
Proper.
And that's what my kid asked for, so that's the way I cut it. She wanted it in triangles.
See, I make fun of him because why in the world would you waste time to try to make it look pretty? The sandwich is going down.
I grew up with a brother that used to eat peanut. He used to eat American cheese and jelly sandwiches, which is the most disgusting combination I think you could ever make up. So I watched plenty of those things get cut in half. And
No.
okay.
Ask Michael what kind of sandwiches he used to eat.
Well,
go ahead, Mike. What kind of sandwiches did you used to eat? Oh,
I'm sorry. I can't act like I was trying to act like I was froze. Bread and mayonnaise. Okay.
on us, sir.
I didn't.
Michael, I did it too. I was actually waiting to say it since Matt made that comment earlier.
Thank you. Bread and mayonnaise, man. And I would use one slice, just mayonnaise it up, fold it over. Let's go to town and get out of here.
Look, my parents worked late at night, and my sister was the one supposed to be watching me. She's 9 years old, 9 years older than me. She always left me alone at home, and so it's make whatever you can. And so it was, sometimes it had to be what it was because I didn't know how to make anything else.
Absolutely. No, I just liked it. I ain't gonna lie. Mark,
here's my stance on the mayonnaise too. Like I'm not against. I like mayonnaise. I'm 47 and I'm trying to stay in some semblance of shape and train and all that stuff. And I don't need to put any extra crap into my body that I already have.
I got you. See, I gave that up like 20 years ago. Let's just eat what I like. Mark, what's the craziest thing you've ever ate?
I don't know. I ate all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. I dipped about anything in ketchup. I used to love ketchup when I was a kid.
Yes, this man ate a fudge round with ketchup once, and we've always made fun of him ever since.
My son is 14. He doesn't like condiments of any kind: mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, ranch, anything. He doesn't eat any of them.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's crazy. All right, let's see here. What's your hidden talent? Yes, Jim, I love it. He already laughed. What is it?
No, I'm genuinely trying to think. I didn't expect that question. Man, I don't even know. Matt, you got yours ready? I got to think for a second.
I don't know if it's hidden, but more of a developed talent is just to be able to suffer well. That might sound crazy, but just dealing with adversity, dealing with stuff, developing that mentality that circumstances are temporary and we're gonna be all right.
Man,
okay. That is very
a good answer like that.
Yeah, I know. It's like the Jesus answer in Sunday school. Like I can't say anything now.
Man, I don't know. I guess I lack talent. I'm trying to think of something that's hidden. I mean, it's not a fun answer, but I've always been able to. I was in the Navy, and I didn't do any kind of special training, but they always thought I did because I can hold my breath for a really long time underwater, like literally a few minutes. So that's about the best thing I can think of. But not very hidden. I like to show it off anytime I'm in a pool.
Okay, I was going to say, if you need to hide, that's a great talent, so it could be good.
He's amphibious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Favorite sports movie, and it can be more than one.
I'm a real kid at heart, and so I'd be remiss if I didn't say Sandlot. Probably I've watched it 1 million times. But ironically, one of them, I got to bring this up. It's in my top 5 because we actually did a sports movie draft. I don't watch hockey at all, but I love Miracle.
Great, it's great. The whole scene where like I got chills even thinking about it because I just watched this probably last month when he keeps on asking them, who do you play for? That whole stuff there, and then that one guy when they're running like 30 sprints or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's like, I play for USA. He's like, all right, go shower. Like, man, that was done.
Never watched Miracle. I have not.
What?
I haven't. I've seen Sandlot 5 million times, but I've never watched Miracle.
Listen, it's on Disney, on your Disney that I steal from you. You need to watch it. It's in Hunter's history that he watched. Okay, so go watch it. You will not be let down. The scene, like they've been practicing for a long time with each other, develop this whole chemistry and everything, and then they go like try to add to the team.
Well, don't tell me the movie. I mean, if I'm going to
it's just a small scene. It's just a small scene, and it just kind of makes you think how team chemistry really matters. Okay, I'll be quiet. I won't say anything. Matt, what's your favorite sports movie?
I can go 2.
Little Giants. We know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Remember the Titans.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go Major League.
Major League. Okay. 1, 2, or just the first?
I've probably watched Major League more than any other movie in my entire life. That was like our go-to as kids, like, Little League baseball, staying over at a buddy's house. We're watching Major League for the 400th time. And our parents somehow let us watch it. And, nobody cared about language because they let us do whatever we wanted to do anyways.
So, Matt, fun fact for you. My answer would have been my favorite sports movie used to be Remember the Titans. It's still in my 5. I didn't completely dismiss it. But when I found out how much of that story had been manipulated, it couldn't be my favorite anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't win the championship till 5 years after they integrated. Bertier played in the game and didn't have his injury until afterward. Like, that stuff kills me.
We don't need to ruin this stuff.
Wow. I did not know this. Thanks.
Yeah,
thanks, Jim.
But I'll tell you this. I wrote down the movies while we were doing this. We had 5 of us, and we did a sports movie draft. We went snake style, and then we let the fans vote on it. But I won in a runaway. I had Sandlot, Miracle, Remember the Titans, White Man Can't Jump, and Warrior, and just decimated. I felt like I hit all major categories. It took off.
I don't know what Warrior is. What is that?
Whoa. MMA movie with Tom Hardy. You got to.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. So Matt answered as well. He didn't say Little Giants. I'm upset, but it's all right. We did get a football movie in. I expected one of y'all to say Moneyball. I mean, that's a great movie, but
it's up there,
especially since y'all like baseball. All right. So this is one question I don't get to ask all the time, but I get to today. Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
Yeah, for me, it's Hebrews 6:19. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul. One of these things that, being in the Navy, like I said, I always just established to an anchor. And I think about how, God is my anchor, and hope is a word that's thrown around in society as a wish, but it's supposed to be a certainty. And so to know that we can be anchored to him with a certainty that he has us has just always been my go-to verse.
Awesome. Matt?
I'll go with Ephesians 2:10. It says, "For we are God's masterpiece, created new in Christ for good purposes that he designed long ago." Like that's my battle, my brain verse. Every time I start to have the doubt, the negative self-talk, like I'm his masterpiece, I'm new, and he's got a plan for me.
Why didn't you get one of our shirts that we had made for our middle school group made for you too? You saw that Ephesians 2:10 was on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I missed that one.
Awesome, guys. Is there anything else that we need to know about you all that you haven't told us? Because that's got us through the fourth quarter questions. Wasn't bad, other than you all don't like bone-in wings. Let's hear it.
No,
anything?
The biggest thing, and me and Matt were on a call earlier today just talking about it. For instance, I had a guy on the show, Brody Cresser from West Virginia, and he and 8 other baseball players had gotten baptized. They had wore the shirts. They had really been proud of wearing the brand. And what came of that was they set up to raise money for their ministry with the FCA, and partnered with In Off the Bench, and we're able to get a nice, decent check wrote to them. And me and Matt were just talking about if people understood the mission and it's not just about the t-shirt and wearing it, but what we can do with it and raising funds for the different ministries, the opportunity is. So, you don't have to be an athlete. That's the thing that we always say. Obviously the athletes get the forefront, but if you have any kind of ministry and you have something that you want to raise money for, the shirts are just an amazing opportunity. And then of course, with that, you have people, representing and being bold in their faith.
Absolutely. Awesome.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, we're here to help serve. If there's anything we can do, working with club teams, high school teams, churches, any organizations that would like to work with us, man, we're honored to partner and serve. And I think one of the things that I appreciate about how our team approaches our work is whether we're working with a 12U club team or we're working with Travion Henderson of the Patriots, like you're going to get the same from us, because like each group, each soul has the same value. Like there's not a fast pass line in heaven for the professional athletes. Like everybody matters the same, and we're going to give the same attention to anybody we get a chance to serve. So if we can help any of your audience out, if we can help any, if there's anything that comes up, man, we're here. I've learned to be so open-handed with this and just be obedient to the next phone call that comes, or the next text, or the next message. So however we can serve and keep talking about Jesus, we're in for it. But if you want to check us out, I guess I'll give the plug for the website, Jesus One Apparel, WON, Jesus One Apparel. I'm sure you'll put that in some kind of notes. And then all of our socials are at Jesus One Apparel.
Awesome. Guys, I think that'll go ahead and wrap this up, man. I really do appreciate your time. Mark, you got anything? You look like you might want to ask something.
No, I was just saying I've already got a shirt in my cart, and I've already subscribed to Jim's podcast. So
awesome. Jim, when's the podcast on?
So we do different days of the week, but it's available on every platform. YouTube and Spotify are the most commonly used ones. But tomorrow I'll actually be on with LJ Mercurius from Oklahoma baseball. Their ace pitcher just won the national championship, coming fresh off his vacation afterwards. So we're going to get his story. One of the cool nuggets that I was telling Matt when we first came on was if you actually look, he's not affiliated with Jesus One, but if you actually look in his bio right there underneath OU baseball, he has John 16:33. So just a kid that we know that embodies and preaches the message the same as we do. So and I got to see him on the field when I was in Omaha, glorify God. So really excited to get his story tomorrow night.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You guys make sure to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we thank you all so much for coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
We will try to talk with y'all again. Awesome. Thanks.
God bless.
Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely.
Mark, it was awesome, man. Guys, for the ones that are just joining in, because it is up and down with all these numbers here, we just had the founder, co-founder, and a gentleman who also works side by side with them as far as on the podcast, In Off the Bench. I left out the in earlier. I apologize. They have a great opportunity in what they're doing, just trying to give God the glory in everything they do. And it's the Jesus One shirts. Just recapping kind of the whole conversation we had there is they kind of stumbled on the shirts themselves and just kind of kept running with it, and God keeps providing. They mentioned Mike Trout. That's the first one I think I ever seen with the shirt on Instagram. I think it was, of Jesus One. And so they keep trying to use the platform of whatever athlete wants to wear it and kind of do fundraisers basically with them. I thought that was great too, that they talked about how much money they've raised for everyone else. It's not like, hey, this is a business. We're using Jesus as a platform to make money off of. It's, hey, we're trying to get this out to where it's a testimony for people, where they can stand up for God, start a conversation with people, and also help communities out. You mentioned raising money for churches, for teams, and all that whole 9 yards. It's really cool, really humbling too, because, here we are trying to do a Kentucky podcast and trying to make it up there to like Kentucky Sports Radio or whatnot, and still have these all moments, whatnot. And they're like, hey, I meet these guys all the time and they're Christian. That's what they are first. And that's what we need to be at first, is a Christ-like person first. And then whatever else follows that. We're fathers. We always say, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, but, first off, we're Christians. That's what we're here to be.
And
we're here
and
to
it's kind of funny. because what they were saying about where you find your identity, that's the same thing I talk to my students about. Like, whether you pass a math test or you fail a math test, that's not where your identity is. Your identity is in Christ, and that's where it needs to be rooted. So,
yeah, I think I've actually mentioned it to you before, maybe not on here, but my son, 9-year-old, playing baseball. It's his first year playing in the major leagues where it's 9 through 12. So, it's a different era for him, if you will. Seeing a player pitch, a 12-year-old pitch to him, it's tough, for your first time trying to learn all that whole 9 yards. So, he'd come home sometimes like, Dad, upset. I struck out twice, like I'm really bad at this. Like, I didn't even get to catch a ball. And I finally looked at him once and said, Micah, at the end of the day, if you were to die today, where would you go? He goes, well, heaven. I said, so you're a Christian, right? And he said, yeah. I said, does it matter that you struck out then? He's like, well, no. And he's like, so, we had the conversation there. Like, yes, we want to be the greatest players in the world. Yes, we want to be the best podcast in the world. But, no matter what we go through, God has already won. And, that's kind of what their whole slogan on the shirt is Jesus won. So,
it's just 2 words, but there's so much power in those 2 words. That's what's amazing to it is, no matter what kind of day you're having, Jesus won. If you're a Christian, you're going to win in the end. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And, what's even crazier is that, Jesus won. What I referred to earlier is that, he won as far as the resurrection, defeated the grave, death and everything. But everything we go through, Mark, Jesus actually went through in his 30 years on earth. So, like, you're fighting depression. Jesus did too in some form of fashion, and he won. You have a trouble with lustful thoughts. Jesus had those same opportunities to have those, whatnot, but he overcame it. He's the only person that lived through this earth on this life through life on this earth that wanted everything. He never stumbled. He never did a thing. He never stubbed that toe and said a bad word. He never talked to his dad when he stubbed that toe and used his name in vain. Like Jesus won, even in the temptations that he had. 40 days without hunger, Mark. I go 4 hours without hunger and I'm hangry.
You get hangry. I
know that. So 40 days without food and then being tempted by Satan so much as we read in the Bible, he still won. It's awesome. So I'm glad we got to have him on there. I'm glad we got to promote him a little bit, maybe the Kentucky area. Mark, I know I mentioned Trent. I know you know him. You got to text him.
I'm telling you right now, I know Trent would. Trent in a heartbeat, he would wear it. I know he would, just because I know the kind of kid he is.
Yeah, he held a couple of basketball camps at the Harlan County Christian School, a few times there, he just to give back to the area on that. So, yeah, I think he'd be totally on with it. But, it's just crazy to think that we have a podcast where we try to meet athletes. We try to do this, but man, it's so much more fulfilling when we actually find one of these athletes that are willing to share their faith. It does level you all out on that. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of the name of the former football player that we just had that did the camp here in Harlan.
Jacob Hyde?
Yeah, the Hyde. Talking with him and what all he went through college as far as his faith and everything. It's something that doesn't get said much, I think, in our interviews and the whole stand on that. And I still think there needs to be a Christian type ESPN. I think it would be amazing if it were to happen. Please somehow have me involved with that. But just a whole network where they can go and do like highlights and stuff and still have, like, obviously you did this, but like what devotion you're working on, this week, what's going on. What's the chaplain talking about? How cool would it be to see that side of sports?
Well, and it's just cool hearing them talk about Chase Burns and Sal Stewart, because I've heard Sal in several interviews talk about Jesus, and you hear people mention God a lot, but he specifically mentioned Jesus, and I love it, and it's especially because I know those players, because it broke my heart. A lot of people were on Benson for the way he played lately, and the Reds kind of parted ways with him, but it killed me because I like Benson. I got his autograph card sitting right up here on the wall. So, kind of stung a little, but
yeah. And kind of going with that, we hear a lot of times athletes say, first I want to give God the glory, but then the words that follow after that doesn't sound like they want to give God the glory, and when they wear the Jesus shirts or the Jesus One shirts, like it's the person, I'm going to use like James here, the fruits are showing on a lot of their actions when they wear those shirts. So it's awesome on that.
I still try not to judge them, even if they are saying something else, man. We're still all human. We're all going to mess up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They're using a platform for something good. So we have not said anything about UK stuff. We've not, like, really, other than Trent. I did want to quickly touch on, I don't know if you saw Coach Pope was interviewed by KSR, just some takeaways from that. He's really liking the team. And he said Noah's been the best defender in practice. And, you know, I've already seen the naysayers coming back going, well, if he's our best defender, man, I wish they'd find new teams to root for. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Because they're so
fair weather
negative.
fans.
Alex is shooting 79% from 3-point in practice. That blows
crazy.
my mind. And he said, I don't know if you saw the beach photo of him with the cards. Apparently it meant something, but he's not saying what it's going to mean yet. He's not saying what it means, but it meant something. The only other thing, 59 days till football season kickoff. So
now I do have some bad news I want to share with you guys. Unfortunately, as you all know, we did give away a Trent Noah. We're saying his name all kinds of that basketball. We did the spin thing, counted the person, sent them a message, the whole 9 yards for them to get back to us. Here's the bad news. I still have it. They did not claim it. So we're past our hour, so we're not going to do it today. But next week, I'll try to put some posts back out there, and we'll do another draw again where we'll spin the wheel and try to find someone. But you have to comment back when we comment you on this video. I will at that person and got to comment back. That way I can get a hold of you and know where to send it to. I thought about maybe instead of doing YouTube this time, maybe do Facebook because we got more followers on Facebook anyways. And just because more unlikely they're more local and would probably respond. Because if not, guys, I'm more than happy keeping this autographed basketball of Trent Noah. But no, we want to give that to you as, again, a gift for you guys subscribing to the YouTube channel. Our goal was to get to 500. We smashed that. We're already at 551, I think, as I looked yesterday. So getting close to that 600. So our next goal will be 1,000. We'll have to start thinking of a gift that we can give away on the 1,000 subscribers. That would be awesome. So who knows?
I'm over here on a teacher salary. You got to be careful of those gifts, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I understand that. But listen, we're over an hour here. We always like to wrap this up, Mark. Where can everybody find you at?
I do want to thank WTUK once again for letting us be live
of course.
on their webpage. We appreciate, being able to be affiliated with them. Thank you to Golden Flame Wings, our sponsor. You can find me at DJ Mark Lawson on Instagram and on X. You can find me on Facebook at Mark Lawson. You can find me here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Where can they find you, Michael?
MD Lawson 00. Go ahead.
All right,
MD Lawson 00 on all social media platforms. But most importantly, go to youtube.com /@CatChatPod. We appreciate that. And of course, Paul, as always, man, thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and love to you as well. But I don't care where you follow me. I really care that you follow Jesus. Like how I said that one. But with that being said, 3 most important rules that we always try to end the show with and give the glory there is, number 1, love God. Number 2, love others. And number 3, love Kentucky sports.
God bless.